I love when the good news coming in on a day-to-day. Already know what's happening, I don't gotta shake the hay. Big moves, big stepper in the right direction. The trip continues, every W's a psychedelic. Journey over accolades, divvy up the accolades and tell them boys to have a day. Give and take, and I let it get.
Hey guys, good morning. Ryan Garland here, founder and chairman of Paradyme. I have Mr. Ray Kashkar, one of the audience favorite speakers that we had yesterday. And I'm honored to have you, buddy. I love having this podcast that we have been talking about. And where do you want to take it, dude? What do you want to talk about?
Well, we could talk about the unsatisfactory living conditions we're in right now in the mansion in Miami with the two giant speedboats. I don't know. Let's just start talking and see where it goes. I mean, obviously my passion is working with kids, but we had an amazing event yesterday. I mean, kudos to you and Ma for putting on a flawless event. I give kudos to the team. The team, they crushed it. And you know what? All that positive feedback was killer. Even the people that were online, they loved hearing every speaker and kind of where they came from and their testimony and really kind of that bullish outlook of attack where you want to go in life and just push forward. Oh yeah.
And I think that a lot of people just don't hear that enough.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's such a wide range of topics that were covered yesterday. From especially the Wolf brought the heat, but everybody brought the heat. Everybody brought their heat. That's what it's about. Yep. And just like everything we try to do in life, I really think we made an impact on people. Right. I think the problem with Americans nowadays, I mean, hell, the world is they're so focused on impressing people versus making a mark, an impact. And I think that's what I think you're on. You're already doing that, but yesterday I really think we impacted a lot of lives. And so far you've gotten a ton of great feedback. So,
I've turned that corner in my life, in my career. About 4 or 5 years ago, just building the relationship with my clients and listening to their testimonies and. This is hard-earned money, and they're really looking to find someone they can trust, to invest into, and really be able to not only to take the wealth that they've accumulated, but figure out a way to maintain it, keep it, and then roll it into, giving it to their families down the road through a trust or what have you. But, with the cost of living going up, inflation, and the list kind of goes on with policy, but people are worried, people are scared, and I think it was really important that for me to look inward and try to continue to perfect myself. And as I want to grow, I'm seeing just a huge difference on myself by giving to others. And taking my experience and my hardships and being able to articulate it in a way that people can receive it. And then make some, adjustments in their lives to really see how much fruit comes from your soul to give to others. I'm really at that point in my life. I really enjoy giving to others. Very similar to what you did. You shared your testimony yesterday, and people just took it in, going, "Wow, you came from a place of pain." That's pretty impressive. As soon as you said that yesterday, everybody just connected. I felt the whole room.
Everybody, that's the thing. When you're, speaker is a storyteller. You got to tell a story that resonates with people. And that's what I try to do. And I think the one commonality that we all have, if not now, is at some juncture in our life, we've had pain, right? There are 7 forms of pain: the physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and financial, and sexual pain men and women can deal with. I pray to God you haven't dealt with all 7, but some people haven't been as fortunate. But, it's... I told you yesterday, right? Know your place. You got to know where you've come to know where you are currently to know where you want to go. And that's what I love about you. But I'm going to change the tide here. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question on your podcast. Okay. So, seriously, you change a lot of people's lives. People invest in the things that you're doing, and you have some amazing things. But that's got to be super rewarding on one end. But how about talking about the stress on the other, right? And you're talking about the ROI, right? The return on investment. So obviously, I'm a man who's trying to provide generational wealth for my wife, my daughter. Right. So how is that, man? That's got to be tough. It's got to be a lot to hold on your shoulders. It's
wild because I dealt with a lot. I dealt with insomnia for years. I mean, I only slept 2, 3, 4 hours, a night for years because really insomnia is like fear, right? And I think there's a truth to having so much weight on you. Like I talk to everybody on my team goes, I don't know how you do it because that's so much pressure, 400 clients. You know, and I think I tell the story quite a bit, but I don't know if I shared it with you. But you know, what really changed my life was a conversation I had with a husband and wife that invested some money from a payout of their daughter's death from a life insurance policy.
Oh, man.
Well, the story is that it was their daughter's third open heart surgery. She died on the operating table. She was 9, and as a father, I could feel I felt empty with them on the call. But I didn't know, so I do annual reviews with my clients, and so it was a year later I get on a call with them. I didn't know any of this when they made the investment. And so they told me the story, and that was kind of like a life-changing conversation, because what that said were a few things. One, they even said it, they go, Ryan, this is the only memory we have of her. They're the only thing we have left of her that was positive in any way was, you know, we basically put all of our savings, we liquidated our 401ks, grandma and grandpa put up every money they have. They actually consolidated houses and went into one house together, grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad, to try to afford helping this little girl fight this, you know. And they all lost everything and her. And so the only thing they had was that life insurance policy. They had decent jobs, but, you know, actually when I say decent, good jobs, but good income.
Yeah.
But it was hard for them to recreate that accumulation. They've taken, you know, 20 years to get to.
Yeah, they trusted in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And so I remember one day, you know, kind of waking up and going, you know, wow, I'm in a service-based business. You know, this is really a service-based. This isn't just, okay, go out and crush it and do a bunch of real estate investments. And yeah, everybody gets into that mode and everyone's chasing the money for sure. But that's a sinking ship in essence. And what happened is I remember one day waking up and I changed my mindset going, you know, the pressure was real. And I wore that for like 10 years. You know, every day you could see it on my face, see it on my body. And especially like when the pandemic hit, you know, I was like, oh, 2008 all over again. My investors are going to lose their money. So my stress went through the roof. And but what happened was I said, you know, we've made good investments and smart decisions. That's why we were sustainable, and we've been sustainable. And we're very conservative. But what happened was I changed my mindset a little bit, going, you know what? God gave me a bigger purpose. I have 400 clients that trust me with their money. That's kind of like, that's a lot of weight, but I don't think I would have taken that in if I didn't deserve it. And what that deserving component was, I wake up every morning with a purpose. It's not just about me. I have my family, of course, but I have all these people that rely on me, including my employees.
Higher purpose.
How awesome is that to feel loved, appreciated, respected, and needed? I mean, I think that's like one of those things that every man really wants to feel that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm getting that not only from my family, that cup is being filled, but all of a sudden, like, all these people have this love and respect for me, and they're like my biggest fans. I mean, I have so many, you should see my testimonials on YouTube. I just have lists of testimonials, and it's not like just the professional testimonials. These are people that are going, I've known Ryan for 20 years, and he's been a stand-up guy with integrity, and I love him. He's my best friend in high school, and he's, you know, down to investors that are like, hey, I didn't know what the heck I was going to do with my money, and I came from this background, very conservative, but once we understood what Ryan was doing, we invested. We were in multiple projects, and super happy, gotten paid out, you know, making good income. And so when you see the reward for people and how much it helps them, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I feel loved and appreciated and needed.
Yeah. And you're a magnet, man. People are drawn to you. I mean, I haven't known you that long, and you know, it's like when you meet that guy, you're just a cool cat. Or, you know, there's women out there too that you just know you've got to be in their circle. You got to get to know them, not even from a monetary standpoint, but just from like a humanitarian standpoint. Like, you're just a good dude.
Thanks, man.
You know, you're big into family. You're big into generational wealth, and you know, you don't act like a pompous ass. I mean, I'll say it. I mean, we know some people that are pompous asses.
For sure. You gotta get tired of that shit.
You know, money doesn't give you the right to be a dick.
No.
You know? Money is a vessel for freedom, so you can help people.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning. You know, the more you make, the more you give, not the more you take.
Well, Tony Robbins said it too. He goes, you know, the real wealth is in the relationships in which you build. People say, okay, your network is your net worth. Yes, but the real wealth is within those one-on-one relationships, and it's so true. Because it's like, you know, I heard this thing too, where it's like, you know, would you give up, you know, this is called your best friend, whoever your best friend is. Would you give up your best friend relationship for $1 million? No. Absolutely not. Why? Because relationships matter more than money, right? And that's really the bottom line. So I really am starting to turn that corner, realizing like my relationships are more important. So for me to make sure I'm approachable, I'm receiving, and I can deliver like good energy, love, I have to be that person ready for that too.
I always, when I get up on stage, I always talk about relationships like planting a seed of a tree. And if you plant it and you take care of it and you take care of the people around you, it's going to grow into something beautiful.
Yeah.
You control the growth of it, though, right? If you want it to be plentiful, it can be. If you want to kill it off real quick, you can also do that because trees, just like they need certain things, right? They need love, they need water, they need the same thing humans need, and in the grand scheme of things, just at different levels, but the outcome is the same, and that's you want to grow something fruitful and plentiful. So I'm big on that, man. I love it. And that's why I try to get up on stage, because it's about telling a story, resonating with people.
Well, man, watching you yesterday was impressive. I as soon as you started talking, as soon as you talked about pain, me and Kara looked at each other, and I looked at everyone's energy was like so like receiving, like wow, he hit something that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
And when you said, hey, let's close our eyes and go into this, like remember this, and let's harness that and turn it into something good. And honestly, that's really the only way to move forward in life. If you don't figure that out, and that what's nice is that you've already figured that out, but your background, we can go as far as you want into it, your pain is I don't think a lot of people experience what you've experienced in life. Well, but to see you overcome it, to see you overcome it is something that like it's an example that if you can do it, everybody else can do it.
Well, it pisses me off is society says, if you grew up in a hardship or something needs to be wrong with you. Fuck that. No, it doesn't. No. It means, you learn from it, you earn from it, and, you burn from it. Like, meaning, hey, like perfect example, things that happen to me and my wife, we're not doing to our kids. You get screwed over in business, but the thing is, that's the one pain point. I call it the pain point is where we went. Everybody has one. Not everybody makes $2 million a month. That was something 3 people raised their hand. One other guy should have raised his hand. He didn't do it because he was like, who cares how much money I make? But the one thing that we all have in some part of our life is pain. And that's, I think that's what TR is so good at, Mr. Robbins. He touches. There's speakers, and, and I don't want to be, I'm not a motivational speaker. If you want an elevational speaker, that's Tim Grover, the Mac Daddy. I'm a pain coach. I do pain, and I talk about communication. I do this with corporations all over America. And I love it. But
you can teach people how to implement practices to at least start somewhere.
And that's the thing,
and
right?
You have to figure out a way to. And I think a lot of people just don't know where to start.
2 things you have to do. My 2 C's. You have to commit, and then become consistent. I don't care what it is. Just like if you want to be more fit, commit. I'm going to give 5 minutes a day to walk. Be consistent. Do that, and then I call it the ascending. Right? We're climbing the mountain. Attack the hill.
Right.
And then it's 6 minutes, then 7, then it's 8. Just like, and you can do that with all your goals. Hey, this year I'm going to hit X amount of dollars. The thing that pisses me off with people is once they hit their goal, they stop, and you're putting that glass ceiling on your goals, dreams, hopes, wants. My thing is break through that, right? Like, we've had some conversations. I focus on the 4 F-bombs: my family, my fitness, my finances, and my faith. Family, I mean, listen, everything's work in progress, right? I'm not going to get up here and say I'm the best dad, the best this, because I'm not.
No.
But compared to, I'm better than some. I'm worse than others, right? But with everything, but the one thing that I'm lacking on right now, and I know this podcast is big, is I want to create more generational wealth. They say like, I don't know what the percentage is of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck. Guess what?
It's like 92%.
I was one of them. I was one of them,
Yeah.
I've claimed bankruptcy before. I've done things, and I don't want to be that guy.
Was it like 92% of all Americans can't afford more than a $400 unexpected expense?
Yeah, it's
so like
crazy.
If you need tires, or if you need, $400, dude, like $400. You kind of look at it and go, well, man, that many people is on that type of level. But then at the same time, you look at it and go, okay, look, that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, if you want more out of life, all of these opportunities are at your fingertips.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just don't have, when I say the reach, the knowledge. That's the thing with me is a lot of people are too proud to ask for help. Like right now, I'm getting better, but investing in stuff. I think the key point that people need to understand is become vulnerable. Like if you know somebody that's really good at something, like he's really good at what he does, I just go up and say, hey man, my name's Ray. I heard you're really good at this. I'd like to create some type of friendship and relationship from you. I want nothing from you. Maybe a little bit of your time, which is a very valuable commodity, but you have to earn that time. Then hopefully you can teach me. But the thing is someone gives you a lesson or they give you points on be better in yourself, you better fucking do them. Even if, like, I'm using this from money. Hey, monetary standpoint, like, hey, if a buy-in's this, well, right now I don't have that. What can I do? Well, what you can do is do this till you get to that. And that's what I do is I just listen to people. I listen to people. I surround myself with people who do good things. But I think the real key, what I'm learning is I sit down with people and ask them, tell me what you did wrong. Don't just tell me what worked. Tell me what you did wrong, because that list is like zzz, it goes out. And because I've probably done some of those, but I'm probably going to do a ton more if you don't tell me. Like, hey, don't do this, don't invest in this. Man, I'm glad you said that. So that's where I'm at right now. And I do the same thing with pain. I've tried all these different drills, workshops, and a lot of them are just horse shit. The thing is, you can self-help and self-heal, but you've got to be ready to. But you've got to be willing to go back. And I got emotional, almost broke down in tears yesterday. That doesn't make me a bitch. No. It makes me strong.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what it does is that you're just being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You're in touch with who you are, what you feel, and what you need. And if you're able to just, and at the same time, you have to get to a point where you just don't give a shit what anybody thinks, too. Because at the end of the day, when you're able to be vulnerable, the people that are also looking to grow see that as valuable.
Yeah.
And then what happens is the automatic, because what you're doing is you're putting a pound of flesh, on the table.
Yeah.
And then the people that are willing and ready to receive, that are looking to level up in their lives, are going to receive that positively, and they're going to become more forthcoming with where they are, and look inward a little bit and go, man, this Navy SEAL, this killer, can be real with himself. Like, I have no excuse if they're in a good headspace and ready. They have to be ready.
And when I get you deal with a lot of people. I mean, the stress that you have to deal with. I mean, people's livelihood, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with lives. You deal with livelihoods. It's basically the same damn thing, right? It's whether you're pulling the trigger on a gun or you're signing a deal with somebody. Once you sign that, or you take someone's money, and I pull that trigger, you better make sure you know what the fuck you're doing, because you can't undo it. And that's what I love.
So true.
And that's why we were talking about this yesterday. The SEAL Team Success Team, right? SEALs are always outgunned, overmanned. You've been in those situations, but somehow we always win. We get on top. So the stress, what I do, and this is a drill I tell a lot. I do coaching, right?
Yeah.
And now this is kind of my Wes Watson view on things, right? The F-bomb king. I love you, Wes. Mentally in my head, when I get in a situation and I go to my dark place, I say two things to myself. I say, fuck it, and fuck you. Now, I want to break that down to the individuals. It's like, fuck it, man. You're here. Somebody, something above, or you put yourself in this position. And it's like, I always tell myself, and I know there's women here, and I'm not being disrespectful, I say, fuck you, don't be a little bitch. Now, here's something that I do. I'm the king of taking bad words and turning them into something good. So I don't want to be a bitch. I say become the bitch. And people go, that makes no sense. Become intellectually sound, trainable, a communicator, and hard as hell. I just take a negative and I turn it into a positive. And that's the, we talk about the SEAL mindset / the cockweed mindset, which is half cockroach, half garden weed. You can't fucking kill me. You have to go into a room and be that guy. Like when I walk into a room and I want something, they're like, oh, here he comes. Like, because they know I'm Dan Flashman tells me, from a sales perspective, you are relentless and ruthless. Good. Yeah. I take that as a compliment.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
I just did a deal I was telling you guys with a guy with a holster company, for my gun company. He came up, he did it just right. Gave me the holster, said keep it, and he goes, FYI, and he used my words against me. I won't take no for an answer. I wasn't going to take no for an answer from you. Yeah. I knew I was going to get you in my life somehow, some way, some shape. Next I was going to start sending you flowers and shit, and your wife was going to be wondering what's going on.
What's going on here, man?
Hey, I mean,
that's great.
You have to make an impact. Well, that's what more people need to do.
Me and Kara were talking about it, right? My wife and I, we're sitting there going like, dude, when you came out and had lunch with us at the winery, like we instantly connected as like boys, like because I think you and I are both kind of in the same lane mindset wise of where we are with business and really family. I think you and I really eye to eye when it comes to families. And I think at the end of the day, that is all I want to be around. I need to be around guys like you, period. Guys that know how to execute, because I have a business. When I make a decision, I'm being judged.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's like burn the bridges, go all in, no more. So I try to be as calculated as I can, use my experience, right? And when I make a decision, I don't pull back. And then what I do is I get everybody to understand why I made that decision. Here's the data, here's the calculated move. This is what we have to hit. There's no way fans are glad that we hit it. And when I do that, people actually follow that because they're like, it gives me purpose. They wake up excited.
Yep.
Everybody's in the same lane with the mindset. So it's this energy. It's like combustible.
Yeah.
It's all that pressure. Boom. It's like a cylinder.
Surrounding yourself with the same type of people means you're on the same frequency, right? There's low frequency, high frequency, and ultra high frequency. And right now, man, I'm at high, and I'm trying to surround myself with ultra high. I'm tuning in. There's things I'm getting, some things I don't, but I'm getting up there. But like when you say things behind every great man is a greater one, things like that, I'm like, it's not about the money. It's about it's about the mission and having your queen, and I don't want to say your son's name here. I don't know if but having the family here too. Like my wife, I have her at these events with me, and
dude, I feel more connected to my family, and I'm sharper, I'm more calculated when I have my family with me. I travel so much, and I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I told my wife, I said, hey, I can't really just like be away from the family as much as I've been. It's killing me. Let's bring our little boy. I want him around me. So like even if I see him for 10 minutes at least, right, even how busy I am, and I give him a kiss and lay down with him. Like last night, everyone wanted to talk to me. I'm like, he's got to go to bed. I'm going to see you guys later.
Yeah,
like,
man, family first.
Yeah, man. Like,
and he's got a cool
music
fucking
stuff.
name. That kid's destined for greatness with that name.
Well, I haven't. So this is my oldest son, and this is my youngest son, and then up here is agape, God's love, like just like a unconditional, fatherly, godly love. And I've studied love years and years ago, and there's that. Like for you to be able to have that type of love in your heart. You have to have forgiveness for the people that have hurt you. Yeah. That's another sense of love. And my family though, man, like I'm at that point in my life, like I don't have an ego when it comes to my family and my wife. It's like, babe, what do you need? I love you. Like I deal with I would rather deal with work shit than deal with like problems in my marriage. Yeah. So when everything's good at home, I already know that that's automatically going to pollinate in my business. Everything's going to work. So it's like, hey, focus on the things that are going to give you the blueprints to life. And then once those blueprints are there, then here's the calculations to those blueprints, and then implement them. And then when you do that, you build something solid on a big foundation. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, okay, God, family, right? It's not rocket science. Yeah. And when you connect the dots and you feel that energy and you feel what that does, you kind of just stay in that lane, and all of a sudden everything works out. And you're like, okay, well then your faith and your belief goes up, and then those practices become easier. Yeah. Right? And so it's cool because my wife and I, we, going back to you a little bit, like we were talking about you, and it's just like he is so dedicated to being a good husband, a good father, and a good businessman. And he cares about building relationships. You talk to everybody like they matter. Yeah. You're able to, literally pour your heart out to people and share your testimony. I told her, I was like, talk about it. Give me another give me somebody else who's more well-rounded. Yeah. That we surround ourselves with.
It's hard to do too. It's hard to be vulnerable. I was never that guy.
Especially with the way you were raised and kind of the shit you've been through, and then also like the way you were, as a Navy SEAL, and how you I don't know how you do it. I'm actually I would love to talk to you for hours and just let you talk and tell me, how'd you get here? I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, that might be a camera off cigar and a glass of Jameson. We might go a little deeper, but
for sure.
Bottom line, everybody's had hardships. Everybody's had pain in their life. Everybody's had chaos, and everybody probably in some fashion, depending on the severity of it, deals with some sort of PTSD. Mm-hmm. And it's a fucking monster, and it's a demon. We got into my push-ups, and you have to learn. You can't kill a demon, right? You can kill a lot of the negative talk. You have self-talk, self-doubt. You can kill a lot of that. But the demons, if you've had trauma from the past, if you've been an addict, if you've been this, if you've been that, right? Some of the most, and Wes says it, and I agree, some of the most resourceful people you ever meet in your life are alcoholics or drug addicts. They find a way. Yeah, true. But imagine if you could just take that type of mentality and use it when you're in a better point of your life. And that's all I've done, right? I've been an addict to things before, and that's, you have to. I'm addicted to me. I'm addicted to being a better version of me. I'm addicted to just making an impact on the world, but I'm allergic to being average.
You know,
It scares the hell out of me.
yesterday, what I told Kara, I said, I mean, you literally practice what you preach. You're no bullshit. Meaning, like, you are not a faker in any way. When you were doing push-ups, you were like, before we all did this, you're like, look, I want it more than you. And it's mindset, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to deliver. I will beat you, period. And there's so much conviction in your voice. You're like, damn, this guy's cocky.
Well,
but here,
you heard me. Most people don't hear. People
I heard
around
you,
me.
and that's what I'm going to bring up.
Yeah, I go through. I have 5 stages. That was stage 2 that I go to. But no one is. It's funny. You heard something that most people don't know or do. I had to. We were in that push-up position for a long time.
Well, you said that. You said you take that pain, you think about it, you close your eyes, and you keep going.
Yeah.
And you literally have figured out a way, as you're going through hardship, to take the pain and say, this right now, this moment, there's a purpose, I'm going to deliver, I'm going to win, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You literally have created a true, deep-rooted commitment when you do something. A lot of people can't do that, because they get to a point where they're like, okay, the line's in the sand, I quit. So what happened, which I thought was so cool, was you're sitting there doing push-ups, and you're getting to a point, you're getting tired, and there was a lot of people in here that were putting in some work.
Yeah.
And all I heard you say is, go there.
Well, first thing
Quietly.
I said was I called him out, and I told him I won't allow you to take my pain from me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I knew who it was. I knew it was going to be me and him. So I looked at him eye to eye, and his response was, yes, I am. So then I started going to deeper and darker places, but it's the mind is what stops you. It's not people that drop down early. David, we won't say his last name, gazillionaire. He could have went farther. He's like, it was getting hot. Being uncomfortable, pressure, like I said, is a privilege. I want to be uncomfortable. That's how I better myself. But I had to do that. I had to call him out, recognize, respect he showed up to work, but then also let him know that he's not willing to go as far as me. I haven't found anybody yet that has. Now, my body will give out before my mind will. And when I get beat, and I will eventually get beat, my goal was to make sure that the individual there knew that, Lily, I gave it everything I have. I mean, I go over and I hug people when they really put in work. A lot of times I beat people, and when it's cocky, when I'm cocky, I remember I told you, this is what I always say. It's not that you're bad, you're just not good. It's not that you're weak, you're just not strong, and it's not that I can't be beat. You just can't beat me, motherfucker. He's the only guy I didn't say that to yesterday.
Yeah.
Because he took me to another level. I have different levels.
Yeah.
And I think more people need to implement that.
Yeah.
You have that. Just one more. I said that yesterday. One more second, one more minute, one more week, one more mile, one more second of breath, one more moment of gratitude,
One more conversation.
That's
one more
it,
meeting,
man. Just
one more,
everything's
the power of one more.
One more. The power of one.
Yeah.
Not two. Don't get cocky.
Yeah.
And I have to get cocky when I'm out there. But it's because I'm in a different stage. I told you recently I did an Andy Elliott event. I went out there and helped motivate the guys. And Tim Grover, I love you, sir. And I'm going to tell this story. If you guys don't know who Tim Grover is, he's like a mentor, almost like a dad to me. And he's been helping me with my game. Every speech that I do, he tells me almost the same thing. Your time, your stage, that's it. Mm-hmm. It's so simplistic, so simple, but yet it's so hard to digest that. Going on after the Wolf of Wall Street yesterday, dude, I was pacing. I'm out there working out. I'm like, holy fuck, I gotta go after the wolf, And like Tim said yesterday, think of it like this: either the wolf opened for you, which we both know isn't true, or someone believes that you can close hard. So I get into these mindsets where I go deep, deep, deep. So Tim Grover was supposed to come watch me do a push-off contest with about 70 people. There was like 200. I got challenged. And I knew who the guy was going to be. He was an old Marine. I knew. You just know. You feel it. You sense it. You know who the Mac is when you go in there. And we're doing it, right? Andy Elliott and them are like, you gonna lose? How are you gonna do? I'm like, well, I didn't come here to lose, right?
Yeah.
So Mr. Grover, is supposed to come see me, but he got busy with something. So I win, and I'm in like the push-up position for 22 minutes.
Yeah.
And he writes me afterwards. He goes, "Hey, how'd you do?" And he already heard. I said, "Remember, guys, you don't speak to Mr. Grover this way. I was just on this high." I said, "How the fuck do you think I did?" Right? Because I was still on that high. He starts to write, and then he stops. So the next day, we're at I'm a VIP of Mr. Grover's. It's Andy, his wife Jacqueline, Sherry, who is Tim's business partner, handler and everything. And then I've got this chair over here all by myself. And I'm like, what the fuck? So when he comes up, there's all these people. I mean, it's a huge place, everybody's screaming and yelling. And I see him, he's already got the mic on. He's like, where's Cash? I hear it. I'm like I'm smiling. He comes up to me, and, he's just got that walk, and he's dressed like a fucking $1,000,000, comes in, everybody's screaming and yelling. He walks right up to me, shakes my hand, he goes, don't you ever talk to me like that again. And I was just like, yes, sir. And I stand there because my point is he's so impactful, so powerful when he speaks. I told him, I'm going to be you, and the way we met is I met him in an event, and he, like you, I have a lot of energy and passion. He's like, and this is what he told me. He goes, you're fucking insane. And I went, and he goes, no, that's how he talks. Don't take that as an insult. That's a compliment. You're me 20 years ago. And I was like, he doesn't have to say anything, but I can call. And what I love about, this is what I'm talking about, like you, if I need, people know when someone's reaching out. I can pick up that phone unless he's speaking. He will text me back or call me back or give me advice. My point is no matter how good you are, you always have to have mentors and people you can count on. And my goal is to be the guy, and this is it. This is how I sum it up. I summed it up yesterday. I want to be the guy that no matter who I call or whoever I text, they want to help me out. Because they know, like, I'll just write Mr. Grover, hey man, how's the family? Garrett, G3 got sick. I've written him 20. How's the kids? Yeah. How's little man? Don't always just call somebody because you fucking want something from them. Send gratitude. I send gratitude messages out to people. Thank you for being in my life, and that's who I want to be.
Well, you do that to me, like
I do all the time, man. Yeah. I don't know, and I'll be honest with you. There's some big names here. I'm not going to say it was here, but did everybody else come up and say, "Man, I'm so grateful that you're here"? A lot of these guys show up and they leave. I don't want to be that guy. Like, I was helping with chairs. What can I do to make this event successful? Yep. I want to be a part of it, like helping your team out and your team.
But people see that.
Rock stars.
Oh, my team's great, man. I'm so blessed.
And I gotta tell this. He's got like this crew, man, and they do everything. And he's like, make sure Ray has water, and make sure Ray has this, and make sure Ray has that. And I leaned over and I was like, I don't need that shit. I like after you left, I was like, I get my own damn water. They were laughing. They're like, no. I'm like, I'm fine. Take care of everybody else. I just want to be a guy because everybody has systems and processes. Yeah. I can't be catered when I'm in that mindset. I have to do things. Yeah. I have to exert energy. I have to look for things. They did get me the cough medicine and stuff though. I needed that. They brought me like 25 bags of cough. Like, you think I'm a drug addict making a lab back there?
Well, dude, for example, my wife's like, Hannah, my assistant, or whoever I'm with like that day, or if I'm traveling or whatever, whoever's with me, my wife will call them and say, hey, Ryan works so much, his mind is in like this like go mode, he'll forget to eat. Yeah. So remind him to eat, make sure he's drinking, otherwise he'll get sick at the end of the night, and then he'll just his energy will plummet. And so my wife is really good, and even now my team we know Ryan's so focused, and we have big targets we need to hit. Yeah. Like we're all in it together. So they just know those little attributes about me, and I'm very honored because these are all like little. These women all either they have kids or they're just very loving and nurturing by nature, and so they just whatever it takes for the company to be successful, they literally just do it. So not just having to deal with me. I mean anything and everybody.
And I think
I'm very lucky.
We're cut from the same cloth because like I'll go upstairs, in my room in my office, and I go to work and I shut the door. And the only person that comes in my room is like, if the door's shut, my daughter knows not to come in, she'll knock. But my wife, even still, like, knock, you're my wife, but she'll like bring me, because I just get, we have that focus, that front sight focus on creating a better world no matter what it is, whether I'm selling guns or coaching or whatever it is. Next thing you know, you blink your eyes, it's 1 o'clock and she's like, you need to eat. Yeah. And then next thing you know, you blink your eyes and she's like, it's dinner time. Now I have the discipline there's certain things I will shut down for. Unless I'm closing a big deal, like I love having dinner with the family. We have a little basket where the phones go.
Yeah, that's cool.
But there are people like if me and you're doing business, hey, I'm having dinner for an hour. I let people know. Yeah. And most people just, they know that. Like, and it's funny, I've done that with people. Like with the guy that's my boss with the company, he doesn't even, I see that he reads it, he doesn't even write back, And then I'll be like, I'm back up. So I put all these systems and processes in place, just like you do with business. So many people have it for business, but the thing is I notice that they don't have it for their family life, right? Yeah. And there's those 3 battlefields we talk about in life: the business field, the battlefield, and the home field. Business field, a lot of people, like when I do my corporate events and I speak, everybody's got their shit wired in with business. But then when I go to the home field, how's your relationship? Are you having date night with your wife once a week? Are you having daddy-daughter or father-son time? No, man, but I'm making a lot. You can make time.
Well, dude, I recently just went through all that.
Yeah.
I realized I was like, I don't know if you saw that last post. Remember, I think you just see that post.
I did.
Post about my wife. It's called A Million Miles.
Yeah.
Like, I basically wrote, like, even though I could be right next to you, I still feel a million miles away from you. Yeah. And I travel a lot and what have you, and that's kind of the point when I was saying I wanted to bring my family with me now, moving. Because I'm realizing that, okay, I can have work kind of narrowed down or locked in, and we have this positive future that we're all seeing. But that literally means nothing if I don't have my home in line. And honestly, my marriage is really where my happy place is. Yeah. And so if I can focus on making sure she's happy and she's good, and then I'm like out every day doing my thing, like I can still feel my connection with my wife when we're in a good place. And that makes me even like sharper, smarter, my energy's higher. Like I actually become a better man because my connection with my wife and my family is so powerful. Even when I'm not physically with them, I can feel them.
Oh yeah.
And that right there is something I'm continuing to just chase, enjoy, but I've identified it, and now I'm like, no matter what, I can't lose that because I'm becoming better because that's now in my life. Yeah. And that's just, within the last year.
And I see that too, because once you have things dialed in at home, that gives you the confidence, to be able to project that over, right? We have overlapping fields of fire. You have to put it over into your battlefield. Now, your battlefield is you, right? Self-doubt, self-sabotage. I asked people that yesterday. Like, I mean, there were guys raising their hands that I know are worth $100 million. Who here's ever self-doubted themselves, self-sabotage? And if you don't raise your hand, you're a fucking liar. Yeah. You're a liar. Yeah. I mean, even West, there's been days. Not everybody was on their A game every time, every moment of the day. But the thing is the people that are really locked in, for a minute they'll get boom, they smack themselves right back in to check. I've done that before. That's why in my office I turn around, I got a picture of my family there, I've got the bell right there, I've got my bloods class right there, and I've got things that mean things. I need that. Like I travel with things get bad, I'll pull out a picture of my wife and kids. Like my screensaver's my family, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
just that 2 seconds when you open your phone, you're like, connect.
How I talk to myself, I will talk to myself out loud, like, and I don't, no fucks given. My process sometimes it has to be external because I try to. A lot of times, the internal is when you're really dialed in. But when you're, I need to go like, come on, you'll hear me. What the hell am I doing? What are you doing? I'll talk to myself in like the third person. Come on, Ray. And people are like, at the gym, I'll do that. Yeah. They're like, are you insane? Yeah, I'm insane. You need to be insane. You need to be extreme to go to the next level in everything you do in your life, and you're going to be misunderstood. People like us people don't understand our drive. They're like, you do good, like, Ray, how come you're beating people at push-ups at 52? Because I put in the work. Yeah. I put in the work with everything, and I tell everybody, there's always more you can do with the family, but I believe in myself. I have good days, but, I want to create, I do. I want to create a better life for myself, and if people think that's selfish of me, I don't care, because the more money I make, the more I can give, and I love that. I want to.
And that's you. That's
me and my wife want to create a huge charity. I'm gonna give my wife Tricia, I love you. When the St. Jude's kids, we try to do a lot with cancer. When the families, St. Jude pays for this, and this, we want to be able to stroke checks to the family where if they need to take, here's $50,000. Yep. And we figured this out because we recently had someone who had a son who passed away, from cancer. But the dad was working his ass off to pay the bills. He couldn't be there. Yeah. So he would work and come there, and it breaks my heart, But when he was working, he got, he was told he had to come home, but he could have been there, So, man, it just, and I've been blessed. I mean, we did lose my mother-in-law and my father-in-law to 2 forms of cancer, but I hate it. It's like the one thing I hate, and I have a hard time understanding why. It takes good people. It does. People that have done a lot of good. Yeah. So 100%. That's why we're, so when people ask me, like, what's your focus? Is it, is it the cars? Is it the money? No, I want to help other people. Yeah. Now, do I want to reward myself? Yeah, me and you've talked about that, but absolutely. In moderation, right? Yeah. You got to be smart. You've told me that. Like, be smart with your money. I paid cash for a couple cars, and I've been told you're an idiot for. I'm not Wes, right? I don't have to dump $600,000. So. I'm doing different things.
Like I was just saying before we got on this, like I love cars, but I have like, my truck's a 2020.
Yeah.
It's a workhorse. My last truck I had for almost 10 years. you know, and I'm a boat guy. So,
Yeah.
you know, I
Well,
kind
you
of
got a
just,
boat,
I
all
love
right.
my boat,
But you-
which we're about to go. It's right there. We're about to go to the Keys
Yeah.
right now. That's the race team right there, too. We're going to go jump in there.
That's I mean, everybody has their niche. You know, I mean, that's a big fucking niche. That's
It's a big scratch.
that's a big 7-figure. But that's a beautiful thing. But
Yeah.
you know, mine is I'm a Dodge guy, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to you, and you know, it's funny. I've had a couple deeper talks with Wes, and he's like, dude, when are you going to get the Rolls? When are you going to get the Ferrari? And one of the guys here was it Addy, the guy that does
Yeah,
the car.
the car,
He said,
yeah.
man, you'd look great in a white Ferrari. I'm like, you know what I look great in? That Demon 170 I got in my TR.
Oh, he even told you, he's like, keep that car.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when you're getting guys in the person, you know, but I am American muscle, and my point is, and what I want to tell people is, even if you start making money or you know, or you're having a bad day, don't change who you are. Like I'm never going to be a Rolls Royce guy, right? Zune, the guy I'm looking at, the man behind the camera, Oz, introduced me to a guy named Ace. You know, he's got the Lamborghini boat. He shows up, he looks like Arthur. Fucking, he's got the stretched out limo with the driver. That's cool.
Yeah.
But that ain't me.
Yeah.
And for him, it works. And that guy is a fucking pimp.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, I'm a truck. We're truck guys.
Oh, for
you know, I
sure.
love my TRX. And I told Wes, I said, man, I am buying. I told him this yesterday. I finally got the car of my dreams. You know what he said? You ain't got it yet, motherfucker, because you ain't getting it till Monday. I love Wes because he keeps me in check all the time,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Wes was my first business coach that I took. Now
Yeah,
I
totally.
use Matt Schneider and I use a couple other people, but the caliber of that cat, you know, he's like, hey, man. And what I liked about him is he calls you out, you know, it was like make 20 extra thousand, 30 extra thousand, 50 extra thousand, 100. Show me the stub. Like, you know, it's easy to sit here and go, hey, Zune, I made $1 million last month. Show me. And I'd show him that. And then the next one was like, show me 250. I hit 234 and I showed it to him and he goes, did you not understand what, he didn't yell at me, he goes, did you not understand what I said? 234 is not 250. Damn. Like,
He's like, hold
he
you
ain't
to
giving
it.
you, he
Yeah.
knows what I'm capable of. And that's what I love. Like with you, I want to do business with you. I want to hit marks.
Yeah.
Right? I don't chase dreams and goals. I run them down. I hit
Yeah.
them and then I find another one. What else can we do?
Right.
So that's who I am.
man.
That's what I'm going to do. And yeah, man, you got
Brother,
me
I'm
fired up.
honored, man. I love having you around. Like I said, I can listen to you talk forever. You have the right. I feel like the way you articulate things is it connects to me, and it connected clearly to everybody too.
I keep it simple, stupid. You know, I don't
But
God
you're not a
bless you.
flashy guy either.
No, I don't try to be. You know,
Just not.
You know, I sat at a seminar at Mr. Peterson. And I was sitting there with my thesaurus the whole time, trying to read what that guy is so damn smart.
Yeah.
I was like, "Can you tell me? And you know, can you break it down?" He's laughing at me, but I don't have 46 doctorates or masters. But
Sure.
what I do have is a way to resonate with people.
Yeah.
And I really think it's the pain. Everybody in the planet has dealt with pain.
Yeah.
Not everybody on the planet is going to make the kind of money that certain people make.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I touch and reach as many people as I can.
100%.
And then it's bring cats in like you that can teach them how to elevate themselves financially. That's what you're doing. You're not don't motivate me, elevate me.
Yeah.
Teach me.
Yeah.
So I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, brother. So
Let's get together, brother.
let's do it.
Much love, bro.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best ever.